Follow breaking news, too, from overnight about the death of former President George H.W. Bush. The 41st president died last night, less than a year after the death of his wife, Barbara Bush. NBC's Dan Scheneman takes a look back at his life and legacy.
President, I can report to the nation, aggression is defeated, the war is over.
George Bush's greatest victory was the Allied victory over Iraq in the Gulf War. It was the peak of a long career marked by high standing in the political and business arenas. Born into wealth and privilege, the son of a U.S. Senator, Bush still joined the Navy on his 18th birthday and became its youngest pilot during World War II, winning the Distinguished Flying Cross after being shot down over the Pacific Ocean. Following the war, Bush married Barbara Pierce, entered Yale University, and after graduating moved his young family to Texas, where he was elected to the House of Representatives but lost 2 bids to be a U.S. Senator. He did, however, succeed in several high-level appointments, including director of the CIA.
We want Bush!
Following a failed effort at the Republican nomination in 1980, he was named Ronald Reagan's running mate. Then, in 1988, Bush decisively defeated Michael Dukakis for the presidency.
I, George Herbert.
But a faltering economy shook American faith in Bush. That led to losing re-election in 1992 to Democratic challenger Bill Clinton. Bush headed back to Houston, devoting time to his presidential library and staying active, even parachuting from an airplane on his birthdays. He saw 2 sons become governors, and he looked on as George W. became the 43rd president. The son would call on the father to join forces with Bill Clinton to raise humanitarian aid for victims of the Indonesian tsunami in 2004 and in 2005 for Hurricane Katrina. In 2010, President Obama honored Bush with the Presidential Medal of Freedom for a life of service to his country that by that time spanned nearly 7 decades. But the former president suffered heartbreak when Barbara, his wife of 73 years, passed away. He mourned with family, friends, and former presidents. Dan Scheneman, NBC News.
Former President Bush had several ties to Indiana during his presidency and vice presidency. He came here during the Pan American Games in 1987. He also spoke to the graduates of Notre Dame in 1991. For many Hoosiers, he was best remembered here after selecting then Indiana Senator Dan Quayle as his running mate for the presidency in 1988. You can read so much more about former President Bush's career in office and the time he spent helping others doing humanitarian work. All of that is on our homepage at WTHR.com.